aren't working. Okay. I'm gonna give this another shot here. I really enjoyed doing the live stream the other day down here. The kind of just laid back format that we did it. So I really wanted to do it again. I have to mind my hand. I gotta get ready for these adventures I'm heading on. I'm pretty excited about it. It is a little bit nerve-wracking. What's up, Martin, brother? How you doing? It is a little bit nerve-wracking getting ready to leave on these trips. So I'm trying to get everything plugged up. Kind of got over my head. What's up, Danny? Hey, Rayan. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing this fine Sunday? Trying to plug that in. Teresa, how's it going? All right. So, first things first. Fix my hat here. I just washed it for the trip. What's going on, Final 30? Rita, how are you? Sorry, my beard's looking kind of crazy too. Look at that. I'm just a hot mess this morning. Danny, been doing good, man. Well, kind of good. I've got some pretty riff. Thanks, man. Cryptid Chris, what's up? Okay, so what happened to my wrist? When I was in the Army, I fractured multiple vertebrae in my back. T5 is the main one, going all the way down to the L5 and S1. And I've had a lot of nerve issues with my hands since that incident. And I had a nerve conduction test done not too long ago, and it came out that my right hand is getting like really, really bad. Martin, I'm leaving this week for it. So on what day was it? Thursday, I think Wednesday or Thursday, I went to the orthopedic doctor and had some injections done in my wrists to kind of help with the numbness and tingling and stuff. And the first couple days was actually freaking horrible. Like, it caused my anxiety to just go through the roof because I was on like large, I guess it was considered a large dose steroid injection. So my heart was just going like 90 miles an hour. Like, I've just felt like absolute garbage the past couple days. But today I'm feeling much better, and my hands actually do not hurt for the first time in like, I can't even remember. So with the injections, I think that's just kind of comes with the territory. Like, it just takes a little bit. But I am now scheduled for surgery. So I decided to move forward with it to try to alleviate some of the pressure within my hands and, get back to better. So yeah, it's been a journey here, doing this, and, having to walk around with a wrist splint. I'm actually supposed to wear two of them all the time, but I just can't do it because I'm one of those people who has to work with my hands. Like, if I do not work with my hands, like, I become like depressed, and I'm just like, I don't know. It makes me happy. So I got to take the steps to get this fixed, and it should go pretty well. It's not that big a deal. They're going to start with the right hand. Then I'm going to do the left arm, because I think they're going to do both my wrist and my elbow. So, because you have a nerve that runs through your bicep. So I have some issues there, but it's all good. I'm all right. Yeah, kind of where I'm at. I'm still planning on going on this trip. So it's You have neck pain and surgery didn't help. Yeah, dude. See, that's the only thing that I'm like worried about. That like, I'm like, what if I do the surgery and it doesn't alleviate, you know, the issues that I'm having? Um, but it's just gotten to a point where it's a gamble because it's more likely that I could like lose serious function in my hands. Monster energy drinks to help with pain. I like the Rippets, you know. I'm just kidding. I've actually stopped drinking all of that shit. I haven't had a Rippet or a Monster in it's been a while. It's been a while. I used to drink like 3 Monsters a day, especially when I was in the military. Jesus, it's amazing that my heart didn't explode while I was while I was in there. Um, but you know, I've got this big trip that I've been planning now for a while to North Carolina. That I'm really excited about. It's going to be really interesting. I wanted to jump on today and kind of talk about some of the feral stuff, and just kind of I've been saying that I was going to go live, but I've just felt like crap, and I had cameras that I needed to go retrieve that I didn't get around to doing just because of my hands, but it's it's all right. Yeah, mine, Kim, mine's been pretty rough. I've gotten to the point where I'm burning my hands. Like, if I don't want to take the, you'll see if you look at my hands, you'll notice a whole bunch of scarring, and that's as a result of me not being able to determine temperatures with my hands. So I'm like burning them. So I'm like, I've got to I've got to get this done to try to get some more feeling back in. But like half of my hand will go like completely numb. Like the insides of my finger, like from my like ring finger to my middle finger, like the inside of it, it's like a line that goes down it, and it just goes completely numb, and it's like, it's the worst feeling ever. It's so bad. Sir Spookfest, what's up? So, yeah, I'm heading out this week to go to North Carolina. I have a couple of locations lined up that I'm going to be hitting that I'm really excited about. One of the main ones is the ones in North Carolina, and the in the mountains of North Carolina. What's up, Pork and Beans? For those of you all who have been following the channel for a while, you know that one of the most kind of like famous cases on here was a result of cannibalism. I don't know if I can say that and get away with it on the live, but we'll give it a whirl. And this location, there was an individual who the that's water, by the way. It's not Coke. So this case came up about a year and a half ago initially, and I've gotten some more information coming from people whose family used to do a lot of moonshining in that area. So there was an individual a while back who had reached out to me, whose son worked. Are you going to investigate in abandoned buildings and houses? No, I'm going to be in caves. So there's a cave system that I'm going to try to find, and I'm going to go into. But that's if I can find it. But the plan is, well, let me just kind of tell you the exact story I'm talking about. There was a guy who reached out to the channel a while back, and his son was he was like an air medic. And one day they had gotten a call, and there was somebody that had been there was a report of a guy that was like passed out on the side of the road, like leaning against a what's up, Daniel? Leaning up against a telephone pole. Well, the flight medics decided that they had to take him out of there. They got him, in the helicopter, and they flew him to the closest hospital. I'm going to be going to this. I'm going to try to make it to this hospital on this trip, so maybe I can get some more information from it. But during the initial diagnosis, they found out that this man had contracted a disease called Kuru, which you can only get by ingesting other humans' brain tissue. They also suggested that the guy was extremely inbred, and he was covered in ticks, and he had just horrible exposure, and was just in a really, really bad way. Well, as I've continued to do my research and try to reach out and talk to people, I've had somebody else contact me regarding these other sightings that are happening, and they don't know each other. Like, these two cases didn't know each other, but they are reporting kind of the same thing, and they are saying that it's going to be around the experiences that they've been having are around these cave systems. So this is a part of what I believe of where these cryptids are. I think they have to deal with the caves, and I think that they are a little bit more advanced than a lot of people give them credit for, and I think they have the capabilities of digging massive tunnel systems. So yeah, ticks have been horrible this year. Like, they have been bad. I've probably pulled at least I'd say 10 to 15 off of me, but that's usually pretty normal for me for a summer. But they've been extra bad, and they've been smaller this year. I don't know if that has anything to do with the type of ticks they are. Like, I can't even remember seeing the last time. I can't even remember the last time I've seen like we used to call them dog ticks, but I haven't seen any of them, any dog ticks this year. They're all just these small freaking. I don't know what they are, but let's see here. Sir Spookfest says, definitely, man, there are so many blocked off areas and national parks and woods. Definitely something going on. Yeah, I definitely agree. Anyone here in Florida want to go Bigfoot hunting? That would be freaking fun. I want to do a skunk ape investigation in Florida, that's for sure. I'm working on trying to figure out how I can do it. Okay, so let's try to stay on topic, Brian, if you can. So I want to kind of reference something that some of you all may have seen on my channel. I've talked about it a couple times, but I kind of want to use this as an example of what I'm talking about. So, okay, so there, the state of Tennessee has, this was discovered in 2019 by some hikers. Okay, the tunnel system that the state of Tennessee recognizes is there, that was not just a cave system, but an actual tunnel system. It spans, let's see here. Okay, so they have mapped roughly 5.7 miles through the Smoky Mountains that this tunnel system operates. Now, when you were talking about traveling through the mountains, 5.7 miles is a that is an unbelievable, like, that's some distance that you're covering. And the state has been really strange about this. Um, because when they initially found them, they immediately wanted to attribute it to moonshiners. Now, I have I love moonshine history. I love the moonshine culture, all of that stuff. And as much as I would like to say that yes, there were some badass moonshiners who decided that they were going to build these tunnel systems through the Smokies to run their shine, it just does not make sense to do something like that. Moonshiners typically are they're extremely handy. They're usually pretty intelligent as well in being able to put themselves up in a situation where they are not going to get caught. I don't think that the moonshiner would put themselves in a tunnel system where they could potentially be trapped. That's just not something that they do. That's never been a part of the moonshine culture. They're outlaws. They are meant to run from the law. So it's kind of my belief system that there is something else happening out there that, isn't, people aren't realizing what's going on. So the area that I'm talking about, where this tunnel system is, it's called Porter's Creek. I've been out there. It's a really, really interesting area. Okay, so we're talking about apps. Okay, your dad makes moonshine. I make moonshine. Got some cracked corn right here. Where was I? Okay, so all right, we had a question. Where was it? Hi Brian, huge fan. Doing your investigations, have you seen any transparent ghost-like apparitions in the woods? Yes, I have. I've seen those on a couple occasions. There's a couple things that happen along those lines as well that I don't necessarily want to attribute to like the spiritual side of things, because I think on my last live we kind of talked about this. I've experienced seeing these like translucent, like almost cellophane kind of like movement of the woods, typically in areas where there is like reported cryptid activity. All the stuff that's going on, like especially around like TikTok and stuff right now, has gotten like really kind of out of hand with the Appalachia stuff. It's kind of driving me crazy in a sense, because I'm seeing all of these creators just say like the craziest stuff and they don't even go out and investigate. Like, this channel is, I do some stuff like the lives and I do like the paranormal journals, but I like to go out firsthand and show you all exactly what the mountains are like. I do my best to try to tell you exactly where I'm at. That way, if you decide you want to go out there, you know what you're going to see what's out there. But I kind of feel like things are getting really kind of out of hand, and I think it's going to end up hurting the paranormal community more than anything else, because man, there's been some wild stuff happening, and people are just jumping on the Appalachia train because it's what's popular right now, and they're trying to get their 5 minutes of fame, and in doing so, it's kind of, I think it's going to get people hurt because one, I mean, the Appalachian Mountains are dangerous, like 100%. There's a lot of weird shit that happens in the Appalachian Mountains, but like I'm seeing the way that I'm seeing this, like people are panicking, like in situations that they really shouldn't be, and they're telling these stories that just don't that just won't happen. And it's driving me as a creator who does basically all of my stuff is about Appalachia, and me actually physically going out to locations. It's gotten a little bit wild, so take a lot of the stuff with a grain of salt. It's kind of weird. And it's frustrating to me because I captured a humanoid figure on thermal that's like undeniable, and I put it on my TikTok and it's got like 200 views. And it's like, oh my god, like this is so annoying. But yeah, that's kind of, I got off on a tangent. Can't you help mountain monsters? No, I don't think I really want to work with mountain monsters. I think I just don't like that. I mean, I'm not hating on them, but like for this, like I grew up in Appalachia. Like I experienced like firsthand a lot of these things. And the way that it ends up getting like twisted and portrayed, it's just kind of like, what? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And the mountain monster guys, like, I've worked on, shows to kind of, so I know how that whole aspect of it works. And reality TV on it isn't what you think it is. It's just it's a lot more controlled than what they portray on camera. So if you were to take a step back and look at what they're doing and then picture a group of like security, a group of cameramen, like food stuffs, like all around them, and then them like freaking out. It's kind of like, I don't know. And a lot of the stuff is done at night intentionally. I do some investigating at night. Like I'm not hating on investigating at night, but like these experiences that I've had were very real to me. And I want to be able to share that stuff with you all in like an undeniable format. And I've worked really hard to do that. I've put myself at great risk to do that. So a lot of the stuff that you see on my channel is during the day, so you all can actually see it, and it's not there, that way there's no trickery. There's none of that stuff. So and I found some wild stuff too. Brian, you are needed in Kentucky. What's up in Kentucky? I got tagged in something about Kentucky, but I didn't. I forgot to go back and look at it. I'm going to North Carolina. Is my next stop. Yeah, see, Sir Spook, like, because right now, really, especially in the United States, a lot of people are kind of in love with the Appalachian culture. They want that kind of slower lifestyle. They want more like a close-knit community, more kind of like family-based kind of atmosphere. And I don't know how to say this, so I'm just not going to say anything. But I really enjoy being able to take you all out and show you the real side of Appalachia, because those locations that I take you to, like, they're just beautiful. Like, they're just so amazing. Like, just the mountains and all of that stuff. There's so much there. Uh, and like the creeks and the rivers and the waterfalls and all of that stuff. Um, so let me try to answer some questions here and try to stay on topic. Okay, Austin, how hope your hands are doing good now. Yeah, today's like the first day that my hands actually have not been hurting, which is like awesome. Have you ever been stalked by a mean animal in the woods? Yes, on multiple occasions actually. We have um, for some reason, a lot of people don't realize this, but we have like a um, major issue with boar here in East Tennessee and North Carolina. They're actually Russian boar. A lot of them. They were brought over initially when the kind of pioneers were coming, and they brought them as food. And there would be like accidents or whatever, and the domesticated pigs would quickly transform into these wild boar, and they like sprout tusks and all of this stuff. That's actually a real thing that happens. If you all didn't know that, the domesticated pig, if put into a wild situation, will turn feral and grow like tusks in a like tougher face and like become like this monster. And they are all over Appalachia, like especially in East Tennessee. And I've been treed before. I've had to run up trees to get out of the way from them. I've had coyotes follow me. Most of the coyotes, that would happen usually either in the evening or when one of them was sick. They will tend to kind of approach you. Does bear spray work on a boar? Yes, it does for the most part, because the pig's nose is extremely sensitive. They're the nose of a pig has like one of the most advanced like snouts, like to be able to dig in the soil and find bugs and stuff. So when you're hitting it with bear spray, they really don't like it, and like they totally like spaz out. So okay, I missed a couple questions. I'm sorry. Um, Okay, let me scroll back up here. Okay, so um, watch out, those wild pigs are dangerous. Yep. Um, Specifically Red River Gorge, man, dude. Yes, I've been there before, and I seriously want to go back. Like Red River Gorge is awesome. There was a lot of people who talked about that when I was, because I was stationed at Fort Knox for a while, and there was a lot of people that would go to Red River Gorge. So I definitely want to go back up to Kentucky because they have. What's up, Foggy Mountain Witch? You're here. I would like to meet Brian and his friend John. Yeah, well, dude, if you see me out in public, please come say hi. Like, I have no problem with that. Like, even if you see me with my family, like, if you see me and you recognize me, I would much rather you walk up to me and say, "Hey, Brian," and talk to me, because that is one thing that happens to me a lot. Is when I go out in public, people just sit there and they're like, they're like staring at me, and I'm like, "You know who I am?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Well, then say hi," and we'll take a picture, and it's cool. Like, I promise, like, um, I'll talk to anybody, I have no problems with it. Let's see here. Okay. Ever heard anything on Western Maryland? All the mountains out there are pretty. The AT, yeah. Western Maryland. I can't say that I know of anything right offhand. Um, Kim Armstrong asks, "What's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen?" Um, so that can be kind of. I've seen some weird stuff. I've seen UAPs. Um, I actually summoned UAPs. That was pretty terrifying. Um, I've seen the black masses, um, which I attribute to being demons. I've seen Sasquatch a couple times. Um, so, all of those things, it's more disturbing than anything. Um, I usually tell people because it really kind of twists your reality, because a lot of people they want to believe in Bigfoot, right? And be like, but at the same time, it doesn't really scare them to go out in the woods. Well, what if you go out in the woods and you see Bigfoot? Like that's kind of scary, to see something that somebody had tried to convince you that was a myth, all of a sudden now is real. And you're out there and you're looking at this thing and you don't know how to react because you don't know how it's going to react to you. And, it's just kind of terrifying. It usually hits me after the fact, like later, like when I was in the Daniel Boone National Forest. I went into this cave system because I was going after like a dogman sighting that had happened up there. And a lot of people on my video claim that there is a dogman in this cave. And to me, it looks like a dogman as well, like after I was looking at it. But like I go into this kind of cave system and I'm looking at it. I don't see it, but when I'm back out and I'm looking at the evidence, I'm like, holy crap, Brian, like that was really stupid. Like, because you could just get like sucked into the cave by this thing. So, there's a lot of situations that I've been in that could be that were terrifying. And then getting lost, that's also that can be scary as well. Um, um, do I watch um, let's see here. Brian, one of your videos, some answered back to me pretending to be you. Somebody on one of my videos was pretending to be me. Don't. What were they asking? I've kind of felt like there was something going on, and I can't really put my finger on it. Or my question, Matthew Clark. No, your questions aren't invisible. I might have missed you, man. I didn't mean to. Specialist Ramirez, what's up? I'm trying to go back through and try to Matthew Clark. Okay. Matthew Clark asks, where have you seen the most feral people at? Okay, so I believe that there are, I call them clans of feral people. I think that they live together in like smaller groups. I think one of the groups is on the Happy Valley side of the Smoky Mountains. If you kind of position yourself in the Happy Valley area on that side of like Cades Cove, there's a lot of strange things that happen out there, including missing people. There's all kinds of wild like sightings where people talk about that they've ran into these feral people. So I would say most likely on that side of the Smokies, And in Kentucky, what are the skulls behind me? One's just a deer skull, and the other one is a gopher skull that I've just found on the trails. I kind of like to keep stuff like that. I think it's fun. I keep I find little glass bottles as well that I like to hold on to. So um, yeah, Kim, I try to be as genuine as possible with you all, and try to show you the locations, talk about the history of the locations, and mix in a little bit of, you know, outdoor adventure kind of stuff. Um, let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. To answer the other part of the question, so I initially didn't think that there would be any feral people in Kentucky. However, I met somebody who talked about them, and he called them the cave yellers. This gentleman told me about these experiences that he had with the feral people, that they were concentrated basically in the cave systems in Kentucky. Now, Kentucky has some, I think, the largest cave in the world. Maybe not. I don't know if it's the largest. But it's called Mammoth Cave. It's huge. It's a massive cave. If you ever go to Kentucky, you can take a tour of it and go through it. It's really awesome. But they have cave systems all throughout Kentucky. Um, Thanks, man. Don't get eaten. I try to be very careful. That's another thing that I'm very mindful of on my channel. A lot of people disappear. What happened to the zombie attack? I was gonna bring that up eventually. Yeah, there's been these weird zombie attacks. It's not just in Tennessee. It's happened in a couple other locations. Um, and I lost my train of thought. Crap. But anyway, back to the feral people. I think that this other clan is in the western part of North Carolina. Um, Hang on one second. I'm sorry. Uh, Somebody just PayPal'd me $5, and I want to say freaking thank you because that is freaking awesome. I could use the help right now. I kind of got set, kind of got, um, anyway, whatever. Okay, I have a question. Can you leave the info up a little longer on the vids? I can never read it in time. Absolutely. Consider it done. Billy said 450 miles of cave systems. Exactly. See, so there could be so much that we have no idea. Like, that people don't even know is out there because of these cave systems, how deep they go. Even like when I talk about the one in Porter's Creek, that's a 5.7 long manually dug tunnel system, like through the Smokies, 5.7 miles through the Smokies, like of a tunnel that was not constructed by the state. And like nobody says anything about this, and I'm just like, y'all, like this is crazy. Like this could change everything, but it gets buried somehow. I mean, I try to talk about it, and I think that there are more tunnel systems up there, and some of this stuff could go all the way back to like the Egyptians with the pyramids and stuff. I've got my brother and I are supposed to go out on a pyramid expedition with sonar and stuff, but the weather and everything's just been being ridiculous. So let's see here. Aliens here in Hawthorne Woods. have I seen suggested that feral people have or had religion that we are not familiar with? Um, I haven't really thought about that. I haven't heard any of. I haven't heard any evidence of that. Have I ever seen a gray alien? I have not. So one time, I did capture something. Again, it was on thermal. I don't know exactly what it was that I captured, but I luckily had my regular camera running at the same time, recording as my thermal camera, and I got this figure that popped up. It was obviously a dramatic change in temperature because you could see it on the thermal, but like on the regular camera, there was nothing there. Um, but as far as a gray alien, um, I don't think that I have. I've came across some weird things for sure, but I can't really contribute it exactly to like the gray alien phenomenon. Although I would like to. I mean, that would be really cool. Um, Tracy, thank you so much for the. Where'd it go? I'm sorry. Lael, thank you so much for the $20, dude. That's freaking phenomenal. I can't tell you how much that helps me right now. That I like. That's fantastic. Like I'm going out on. I've been down, man. I try not to bring like my personal stuff onto the channel, just because like you all have lives too. You know, like it's hard out there. Like I get it. Like and I don't like to like put this my like I can't move my hands. I can't like do a whole lot right now, guys. I don't like to put that stuff out there because I want my channel to be like a positive place. Like, yes, we talk about some negative shit and some weird stuff, but like, I want my channel to be like a positive place where you all can come. We're not talking politics. We're not berating each other. We're not talking about our problems. We're talking about, you know, cryptids or ghosts or aliens or some portals and shit, you know? That's or we could just be talking about hiking in the mountains. That's what I want my channel to be focused on. So a lot of times when I go down, it's kind of hard for me to let you all know that because you know you all got problems. Like I know it. Like we all got problems. So I just want you to know I really appreciate it. But okay, where were we at on the chat? Um, Yeah, Bart, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. That's freaking phenomenal. It came in, was it Leal? Lael? As I'm getting older, my eyes don't work as well either. So, like, it's getting kind of weird, man. Like, I'm 42, okay? And I, like, when I was so proud of my vision, especially like when I was in the army. Like I wasn't like a hero or anything in the army, but I considered myself like to be like a really good shot, and I could see really far. I had 20/10 vision, and now I have a hard time reading text messages. It's just like I'm like blowing up the screen, you know, trying to figure that shit out. So, but okay, back on topic. Sorry. Yeah, and by the way, Roy, what's your YouTube channel? Um, you feel free to post it. I also, Roy, I like to help smaller creators. That's another thing that I try my best to do is help lift up other creators because it happened to me and I'm still bitter about it to this day. When I was kind of coming up, I had a larger creator steal my research, my video idea, and everything, and just totally just it said fuck you, and said he just didn't want to work with me, and just because I didn't have the following that he needed, And I don't do that. I will always, always, always help the smaller creator out. I don't care if you have one follower. Like you are more than welcome to promote yourself on my channel, just as long as it stays within like adventure content and the paranormal. You know, I don't want to promote any political stuff on my channel, and then obviously nothing hateful, none of that stuff. We don't do that here. So I volunteer my time. Like if you're looking to get into podcasting and you need your first guest, I will be happy to help you. So I do my best to try to give back to the community as much as I can. All right, so Roy Terry's YouTube channel is Roy Terry 9406. So you all go check him out. Yeah, exactly, Donnie. It's all evil. It's all bad. But so I think that the tunnel systems, that I think there's more than this just one that is really kind of documented. Somebody super chatted $2.99 and I missed it. My bad. Felicia, thank you so much. That's freaking awesome. Let's see here. So actually one thing that I am working on, I am kind of going back through and collecting my weird evidence that, like, as I've been investigating, because I mean, you all know, like, if you've been following my channel, like, my videos, they don't always have like evidence of paranormal activity on them. Some of the stuff, you know, some of the stuff that happens, I'll pick it up later in editing. I'll be able to hear it or see it, and point that out, but it's usually kind of calm. But the evidence that I do get, Mark, thank you so much, brother. You are freaking awesome, dude. I really appreciate it. Dude, y'all are freaking phenomenal. So I want to put all of my evidence kind of together, and I think I'm going to kind of do a video of it, of me talking about it. And I'm trying to get all that stuff kind of arranged, so and positioned, so after I have this surgery on the 19th, I'll still have content to be able to come out, and I'll have that to put out. Plus, you know, I'll try to do some lives while I'm healing up, and but my recovery time shouldn't be that bad. I think the recovery time's like 3 weeks or something. I know I can't drive, so that's gonna suck. Because driving is my jam. But I also want to start including some more kind of survival type stuff on the channel. Not necessarily like prepper, but I want to try to teach you all a lot of the skills that I have. And because, you know, say what you want about the paranormal and stuff, it makes a huge difference. There's Bert. Thank you. There it is. Bert, appreciate it, brother. On the PayPal, man, you're awesome. Because there's a lot that you all can learn from me as far as getting yourself out and on the adventure. Let's see here. Okay. Somebody said something. Mark, you lost your leg in March, but finally getting back to work. Dude, I had another friend lose his leg last year, and he used to live. We grew up together, and like, it's kind of weird because back in the day, the people that I grew up with, if you were like gonna make it in life, you would be moving either to New York or like out west to like Utah or California. And I've got a lot of friends that went out there that didn't make it, and now are like struggling hard. And he ended up becoming like homeless, and he lost his leg because he was sleeping in a van. And dude, it's just like some of the struggles that he's been going through. I didn't even realize. I didn't even think about like just the personal things that he has to learn to deal with. It is just God. I can't even imagine, man. But I hope, Mark. I hope you're getting yourself back to a happy place, and not letting that drain you, because dude, that's I can't I like, I don't even know what to say. Like, but just try to stay positive about it, dude. um Brian, how much would it cost for a guided tour to one of your favorite paranormal hotspots in or around your area? That's a good question. I get approached a lot about people wanting to come out with me, and I want to figure out a way that I can do it and do it safely. Because again, like on my channel, the locations that I go to are real locations. Like everywhere that you see me at is a real location. And with that, there's a lot of risk that comes with it, excluding the paranormal stuff. Like excluding the paranormal stuff. That's I've been with people that talked about how they wanted to go out with, and I don't want to name drop anybody, but how they wanted to go out and they wanted to have a Bigfoot experience. And I took them out to one of the locations that Scott Carpenter found. It was like one of those locations that me and Scott just actually ended up both investigating at the same time. And I really need to reach out to Travis and talk to him more about this, because it's such a phenomenal thing if you think about it. Because I was going out and having Bigfoot experiences, and so was Scott in the same area, but neither one of us knew that we were both out there. But I've taken people out there and they panicked once things start happening, because you're on edge, you're thinking, and it can kind of go south pretty quickly because of the local wildlife as well. Sometimes you're going out and you're like, yeah, there's a Bigfoot sighting out here, and then all of a sudden some coyotes run down the trail, and they make a bunch of noise, and it scares the crap out of you, and you think it's Bigfoot. Potentially people could pull out guns and start shooting, and then things go like way south. So there's parameters that I got to figure out how I can overcome that. Because it's something that it took me a while to get comfortable going out like that, into locations where these people were having these crazy experiences. Like, it's nerve-wracking. And then you mix in a bear, and it's just like, holy shit, this is a whole nother level. Like, let's see here. Mark, Donnie, the damn thing just ran away and never came back. Can you provide those locations and trails? So Charlie, yeah, I do my best to try to include the exact location that I'm at. A lot of the times, the majority of the time, I accidentally turned it off on this last Blue Ridge, and I didn't realize that I had turned it off. But when I use my thermal camera, it will pick up a pretty close GPS coordinate on the thermal camera that you could key in there. I try to say exactly where I'm at, and kind of go from there. Like, other than that, like, I don't know how else other than like giving people GPS coordinates. Like, if you want to, and if people reach out to me afterwards and ask me, I will give them direct GPS coordinates to how to get to the trails and how to get to the locations. Um, Presuming that I am finished investigating in that area. I do try to, for my own personal safety, will try to kind of keep some of the information out until I'm done with it. So, like, if I have trail cams still set up in the area and I'm planning on going back to the area, I don't want to tell everybody where my trail cams are at because they get stolen, which has happened to me multiple times and it sucks. So, yeah, but I'll be happy to tell anybody anything you want. Um, no worries. Um, But Mark, I did have a buddy that I went to high school with. He was a lineman, and he touched a line that was hot, and he almost died. He lost one arm completely. Lost a lot of the function in the other, and they had to take muscles from like his stomach and his leg and stuff. But he ended up getting a pretty advanced, I don't know what you call it, like a replacement arm, like like a fake arm, uh, my freaking speech won't let me get it out. Whatever, but a bionic arm, yeah. So that technology has advanced rapidly. I know it takes a while to be able to get something like that, but definitely keep your hopes up in the future because you probably be able to get something later on. Um, yeah, absolutely. Okay, I would recommend diving into PhD level textbooks, looking for CIA shutting off the hearts of suggestible people before bringing them back to life. Dude, I've actually done several videos on different topics like that I actually never released. I just found them. I did some on like remote viewing. Um, there was a couple other topics that I wanted to do a video on, and I sat down and I recorded it, but it just never made it onto the channel. So, yeah, dude, I definitely should start digging more into that because that would work really well on here. I know, dude. I know, but I become self-conscious a lot of times, and uh, one of the things that I've noticed that I do when I'm recording, even though, and it's strange because I don't realizing that I'm doing it in the time, but I say and I will record a video, get it completed, and feel so great about it. And then I go back and I'm just kind of, gonna try to edit some of it. And I'm saying like every like 5 seconds. And it's just like, it's so annoying to me that I get discouraged and then it doesn't come out. But it's really not that bad. And I really just need to get over it and just edit out the ums because you can't even really tell that I'm doing it till now. So, yeah. Uh, Dude, you're just a really intelligent guy. You've got too much info in your brain. I used to brag about having I called it a plethora of worthless knowledge. I used to, like, I loved to tell people strange facts. And, like, one of the favorite ones that I always said was a duck does not make a quack sound. The larynx of a duck is built in such a way that when a duck makes that sound, you're only hearing the first half of it. So you're only hearing the quack. Because of the way that their throats are built, they're able to shoot the sound waves so fast you're hearing the beginning and the reverberation coming back that makes the total quack sound. Most people don't even realize that, but there's another worthless piece of knowledge for you. But any like animal facts and stuff like that, I love all of that stuff. For sure. Have you personally seen a Sasquatch or other cryptid face to face? Yes, I have. I have seen a Sasquatch on, I think, 3 occasions now. I saw one in Georgia. I saw one here in Tellico, and then I saw one at one of the Scott Carpenter's locations, which I don't really want to give out for protection of Scott's family, if that makes sense. I don't want to put any more information about it out, but I'll be happy to give out the other locations. If you all want to go look and investigate. I also have seen what I believe to be feral people in the Happy Valley area, where Michael Herron disappeared, Dennis Martin disappeared, and the girl, and god dang it, I keep forgetting her name. I've got some game cams that I've had running up there for a while. I've tried to kind of stay away from them, but I'm going to be returning back soon to get those. So I'm really hoping that stuff's going to be there. We'll see how that goes. Dang, we've already been on here for an hour. That's cool. I've heard Bigfoot in the mountains. Oh, one of my best pieces of evidence was in Frozen Head. The Frozen Head, when I went to go investigate Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, I captured one of the best sounds that you could ever imagine. And that was one of my best pieces of paranormal evidence. If you haven't seen it, I would look for it. It's on the video, The Beast of Brushy. So if you want to see a really good piece of evidence, it's there. But I'm working on putting everything together so you all can see all of the evidence that I have collected over the years, because I've captured a lot of stuff on film. I've captured a lot of audio stuff, and I've gotten a lot of really interesting footprints, which the footprints are the ones that always kind of get me, especially with the dog man and this large canine that I've been tracking, because it's clearly a canine, the way that the pads are set up, the way that the claws present themselves, and it's like bigger than my hand, like this canine that I've been tracking. Also, somebody asked about dangerous other animals. We also have now, because I documented it, me, and there's another guy fishing with Tate. He got one on his one of his game cams, and it's the koi wolf. If you're from the South, you've probably never heard of the koi wolf, but it's a hybrid of a gray wolf and a coyote. And this thing, dude, is freaking vicious. And it is got the wildest looking back. Like, the fur of it like kind of looks like a hyena. In the way that its back structure is and the way its fur is, it's pretty freaking wild. And then we have black panthers. I meant to come back to that conversation. Troy Dover, I'd love to come out with you on an investigation, provide you with some backup. Yeah, dude. And we'll probably be moving to Eastern Tennessee. We'll keep in touch once you get out to East Tennessee, man. And if you're planning on moving here, I'd get your land now, because they are literally now starting to cut out the mountains. Um, I wouldn't have high hopes on getting a farm or anything like that, because those are all going to go under, I think, unfortunately. So kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I see that video that you just now mentioned. Yep. What weapons? Okay, what weapons do I carry? So that's another big thing that I'm kind of adamant about on my channel is uh, my firearms that I carry. I don't use them as props. Okay, so a lot of people think that I'm just crazy walking around in the mountains with no firearm on me. I usually carry an AR-15 loaded with 5.56 green tip and a 9mm handgun. So those are the two weapons that I always carry on me for a very specific reason. And I am a penetration guy over blowing a hole through things. Some of the training that I had, the kind of explained to me when I was working with Class 1 animals that these are going to be the most effective rounds because of their penetration power. A lot of the larger rounds obviously can go in to an animal to blow, but once you're hitting that mass with a larger mass, it doesn't want to penetrate as deep. So I've always favored either the 9mm or the 10mm. I really like 10mm, but I generally carry a 9mm pistol for recoil, basically, because in the situations that you're going to be firing at a moving target, you want less recoil that you would get, with the bigger caliber guns. It can be kind of harder to reset your shot, and you only have a matter of seconds to get several off of them off. So that's why I carry the 9mm and the 5.56 rounds. Because it's more about penetration. Now, if I was in an area where I was with going to be around like a polar bear or something like that, I would obviously carry the bigger rounds. Like I'm not going to put myself in like that kind of situation, but or the bigger guns. But in East Tennessee, in Appalachia, the weaponry that I carry, I think, is more than enough and reliable. It's what I shoot. It's what I practice the most with. When you're getting in these situations, you want your muscle memory to be there. You don't want to have to be trying to compensate for something differently. And I also carry a fixed blade knife on my hip. It's usually like on my front hip above my right leg. So in case I end up like on the ground as a last ditch effort, I'll be able to pull that. But I'm a huge Second Amendment advocate. I think every single person should have their own firearm. That's just me. And so to be responsible on my channel, I don't really show my weapon very much. You might hear me charge my weapon if I feel like I'm in a dangerous situation, but I don't like to put it on camera and stuff like that. I just don't think it's helpful, because I also want to inspire people to go out on the trail and have a good time and not feel like that they have to have some kind of weaponry like that, so yeah, that's where I'm at. Dude, y'all are awesome. But my mouth is getting tired from talking. This is why I love doing the lives with you all, though. Like, we actually have a good conversation, and like I'm talking the whole time, and I'm really excited about this upcoming trip to North Carolina. Like, it's going to be scary. I hope the weather holds out. That's one of the big things I'm kind of worried about. Oh yeah, a few weeks ago when you were live in the woods because you seen something. What happened after you turned off the camera? Um, let's see here. Was that? I think that's. I think you're referring to when I was live in the Blue Ridge Mountains. In that situation, that was really scary. That was. Uh, I've never really felt like I was surrounded before, and in that situation, like I felt like I was surrounded. And I'm not sure if I brought this up, but I had found the Amanita muscaria. I found several of those mushrooms that something had been eating them, and because there was like you could tell that there was bite marks, and then there was this massive pile of scat. Like, I mean, it was like huge. So whatever it was that was out there, I think might have been eating those mushrooms and might have made it sick. And I don't know what was happening, but it scared the shit out of me. So like I had to basically just wrap it up and get out of there. Because once you get in a position where you're like you feel like there's things all around you, even if there's not, even if there's it, and that's another thing that I want to kind of concentrate more on explaining on camera, because I think a lot of people can get themselves in trouble in either way. It's actually going to be more dangerous for you if you think that there is something out there and there is not. Because if there's nothing out there and you get yourself worked up and scared, you can make really bad mistakes that can end up in a mechanical injury, that can end up with you getting yourself like off of the trail, and you are just panicked because you think that something is stalking you, but it's not necessarily there. But in Blue Ridge, there was evidence of something else being out there with me. So once I got to that point, I was like, I have to wrap this up. I can't continue to just kind of sit here and put myself in harm's way. So usually if I turn the cameras off, I'm usually going to be packing it up to get out of there, or I will try to bring the camera right back on if I can, if I have like the battery or stuff like that, because I also don't want to put myself in a position where I don't have any equipment that works, which has happened to me on multiple occasions, and that shit's scary. That happened to me one time up in the Happy Valley area. I got hit with what I believe to be like an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse. I had the e-bike. The e-bike completely shut down, did not work. My GPS stopped working. My phone stopped working. Everything basically just cut off. And I was just way out in the mountains. And that's one thing with the GPS, though. It can give you a false sense of security if you take one of those GPS systems out in the mountains, because you're like, okay, yeah, you're just looking at the GPS and you're following it because it's using satellite. Well, what happens when that GPS goes out? You haven't been looking at the woods around you. You've been looking at a screen. So now you're just out in the woods and you don't know which way to go. So you're going to have to know how to use a compass or how to navigate. So that's another thing that I really want to work on, being more like talking about on the channel, is how to navigate properly through the mountains in case you run into a situation like that, where you lose your navigation ability. So I do have a GPS. I have the Garmin Montana 750. So it's pretty freaking reliable. It's pretty reliable, but sometimes it doesn't work out. So Tyler 420, I personally believe that Dogman and Bigfoot have turf wars. I tend to agree with you. Actually, because I have found dogman prints in specific types of forests, and then I have found Bigfoot prints in specific types of forests. So it's kind of like they separate from each other. It's weird. Have I ever seen a siren head monster in the woods? Nope, have not seen one of them. That would scare the shit out of me, though. Jesus. Like, God, I don't know what I would do. I'd freak out seeing something like that. So why doesn't GPS work in the woods when they say our phones run off satellites? So the satellite systems, they work in kind of like our phones. Our phones. Okay, I'll try to explain this. Our phones work off the satellites in a type of triangular formation. Okay, so picture, like a triangle. All right, so your cell phone has to connect to a tower, that tower can connect to the closest satellite, then to get that information back. Okay, so the GPS systems then are able to change that communication into one direction. Okay, so the GPS system that you're holding is able to communicate directly to the satellite, as opposed to a cell phone system having to work off like a tower. That's kind of how you lose service sometimes, because even though the phones are working off satellites, they're using the towers to triangulate that signal. So if something were to happen where you were to lose that, if you had a GPS and you had a cell phone, they both had the exact same signal at one time, but say a tower went down, your GPS would work because your satellite couldn't move back and forth. Bigfoot in Spain, I think you actually do. Hold on. Hang on. So the Bigfoot in Spain is called the Pi Grande. There you go. Additionally, the context of the mythology in Spain is a figure called the Bas Juan, meaning Lord of the Forest, which shares common similarities with the Bigfoot. The Bas Juan is described as a large, hairy humanoid creature living in the forest, sometimes linked to weather forecasting and ancient Basque shepherds. While not identical to Bigfoot, some parallel draws the lines. So I was kind of talking about this in another live, that yes, that's one of the unique things about Bigfoot, is that almost every culture around the world has some sort of version of a Sasquatch, Bigfoot, skunk ape. It just goes by different names. And that's what is really interesting about the phenomenon, is that no matter where you are in the world, even if they have not communicated with each other, they have this connection with the Sasquatch. Dang, y'all. I've really enjoyed this live, but I'm going to have to hop off here, but my throat's starting to hurt. I head out this week to North Carolina. I don't want to put out exactly when I'm coming back, but I will be back this week as well. I'm going to do my best to try to communicate with you all, let you all know wherever we are, what we're doing, and I'll do my best to try to post and keep you all connected. I'm really enjoying doing these lives. I have so much fun talking to you all and getting to get away from all of this stuff, the craziness that's happening, and just getting to talk to paranormal. I really enjoy it. So I'm going to be working to get doing some more of these if I can. Thank you all so much to everybody who donated. That's a huge help. to the channel. It's going to make a big difference coming up. So thank you all again. Yeah, stay safe. Don't disappear. I, I work on that. You know, I try to make sure that even in the case things go south, I've got backup plans after backup plans. So I've been doing it for a long time, but you never know. So thank you all again. Love you all. You all are awesome. Roy, y'all go check out Roy's channel. Go show him some love. And we'll see you all next time.